Morning, good morning. We're going to get started in about 2 minutes. If you could grab 2 blocks or something that resembles blocks, grab 2 towels or blankets of some sort. So a bath towel is fine. Just grab 2 of those. You can also grab like a soft washcloth or eye pillow if you have one. Grab something like that as well. Something that looks something like this. Or if you have an eye pillow, that would be great. And then also grab a strap, belt, or anything that resembles a strap or belt. Because I think we're going to use that today. If you don't have it, it's fine. You don't have to stress about it. You can always do without it. All right, we're going to get started. If you just joined us, again, if you could just grab, you don't have to have props. We can always use without props. But if you have 2 blocks or something that resembles a block, like a book or a tissue box or something that is rectangular, and also grab 2 bath towels, just like this, or some blankets, like this. Winnie's having her frisky time this morning. That, and then if you can grab a belt, strap, or anything that resembles a belt or a strap. We're going to use some of that today. And then an eye pillow or something that you can cover your eyes with, like a really soft washcloth or something. All right. And as we're gathering those items, what I want you to do is take your bath towels for now, and I want you to grab the edges, and I want you to line the edges up in half, like so. And then fold that one more time so the edges are together. And then put that down and try to get the edges to line up. And then starting from like the middle of the towel or blanket, you're gonna kind of iron it out a little bit to get all those wrinkles and creases out. And then starting from like the smoother edge, you're gonna roll it up. So you have just like a mini bolster. Just put that off to the side, and then go ahead and do that with the other one as well. And the reason why it might be best to start at the end where the edges meet up is so that way they are even. So taking your other one, grabbing it. And again, if you don't have it and don't feel like looking for it, that's fine. You don't need it. Just smooth it out, making sure the edges are matching up, and then rolling it up. Okay. Put that off to the side. And then just have your other props nearby. So now we're just going to start with the small bolsters, and I want these. And then throughout the practice, if you need to re-roll them, you can. All right, so welcome to Saturday morning. This is going to be a slow flow, gentle base type of practice. I just think that's a good way to start out a Saturday morning. We're going to do just a little bit of restorative, which just means that your body is supported by props, whether it's the floor or towels, blankets, blocks, strap, whatever. So it's not going to be the entire practice. We are going to do some moving, but just thought I would incorporate that into the practice as well. So let's start lying down, and you're going to take your 2 rolls. Don't mind Winnie. You're going to take your 2 rolls. You're going to put them underneath of your knees. So your rolls go under your knees, and then your legs can be a little bit wider than hip bone distance apart. And then you're going to come down to your backs. And just have your arms down by your sides. Your feet just hang open naturally, allowing your knees to relax into the towel rolls you just made. And just finding a comfortable position so that you can close your eyes and find stillness in your body. Just breathing normally through your nose. And then while you're here, I want you to allow a distraction to come through. So we always have distractions. It's very normal. So it could be a thought. It could be a feeling. It could be a sound. We have a lot of sounds going on in our houses. I know I do. But allowing yourself to be in that moment with that distraction, whatever it is, and not feeling frustrated and not allowing it to take over. Just allowing it to be whatever it is. And then just bring your awareness to the tip of your nose where the air comes in through your nostrils. And without deepening your breath yet, just focus on that point and feel the air as it comes in. Feel it as it comes out. And slowly start to deepen your breathing. Taking a long, slow, deep inhalation, followed by a long, slow, deep exhalation. And take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out. Take a deep breath in and breathe all the way out. Exhale, 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 and then breathe in through your nose for count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Unless you're pregnant or think you are, don't hold it. Breathe out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it or not. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Breathe out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Okay, just return to normal breathing. And then from here, I want you to bend your left knee and place your left foot on the floor. And then bend your right knee and place your right foot on the floor. And then you can either reach down or just take your feet and gently move your rolls off to the side, either with your feet or with your hands, doesn't matter. Good. And then just draw your right knee into your chest and hold on to your shin, or you can hold on behind your knee. Keep your left knee bent with your foot on the floor for now. Good. And then go ahead and exhale, extend your left leg down. If that feels too stressful, keep your left knee bent with your foot on the floor like you just were. Keep your left toes pointing up towards the ceiling if your leg is extended, and press your left thigh down into the floor. Good. And then I want you to start to make some circles with your right knee. So it doesn't matter what direction you're going right now, because we're going to switch in a moment, but just making circles with your right knee. Just trying to lubricate the hip joint a little bit. Get it moving. Good. And then switch directions. Go the other direction. And then come to the center. Draw your knee to your chest one more time. And then I want you to grab on behind your right thigh. So you're interlacing your fingers behind your right thigh. If you can't grab on behind your thigh, I want you to grab that belt or strap that I asked you to get, and then you can wrap the strap around your right thigh and hold on to your strap versus your leg. Okay, so that's an option for you. Wherever you are, whether you're holding with your hands or with the strap, I want you to press your leg into that hand or strap, and then think about pressing back into your leg. And just keep your right foot flexed, keep your left leg on the ground, and then slowly start to straighten your right leg. And again, if this is too stressful, you can bend your left knee and place your left foot on the floor. That's another option for you. Keep pressing your leg into your hands or the strap. Keep pressing back into your leg. And think about your knee being in line with your hip. So your leg is in one line instead of, you're not really drawing it towards your head or anything. Good, and then exhale, bend your right knee. Release that, bring your right foot to the floor. And then draw your left knee into your chest, interlacing your fingers over your shin or behind your knee. Either one is fine. And then if you want to, on your next exhale, extend your right leg down to the floor. And think about your right leg being straight if you do extend it down. Toes pointing up, heel pressing forward. Pressing your right leg down into the floor as you draw your left knee in. And again, if that's too stressful, you can bend your right knee. And then from here, just start to do small, slow circles with your left knee. Again, going whatever direction you would like to for now. Try to go slow. Try not to go so fast. Allow yourself to go a little bit slower this morning. Good. And then switch directions, go the other way. And then pause in the center, draw your knee into your chest. And then bend your right knee, place your right foot on the floor. And interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. So same thing, you can use a strap if you need to. Both of our sides are somewhat different. So this side might be a little more challenging, might be a little bit easier, just everyone's a little different. Either interlace your fingers behind your left thigh or using that strap. Think about your left knee being in line with your left hip. So it's kind of like you're sitting in a chair with your left leg. Left foot flexed. Press your leg into your hands or the strap, and then press back into your leg at the same time. So you're engaging your leg and keeping it where it is. Then start to straighten your left leg. Your leg does not have to go 100% straight. It could be a little bit bent. You're just pressing your heel up towards the ceiling so your leg is going towards straight. If you want to extend your right leg down, you can. And then bend your left knee. Place your left foot on the floor. Bend your right knee, place your right foot on the floor. And then hug your knees into your chest one more time. Okay. And then grab up behind your knees and go ahead and rock yourself forwards and backwards a few times, maybe 3 to 5. Just getting you a little bit warmed up with some nice movement. So 3 to 5 times and then come up to tabletop. All right, so knees are underneath your hip bones, hip bone distance apart. Arms are in one line, your wrist, elbow, shoulders. And then just have a very slight bend in your elbows. So you can see my arms are still straight, But if I lock them out, my elbows, the inside of my elbows come forward. So you just want a very slight bend, but your arms are still straight and you're lifting up and away from the floor. So you're pressing down into your hands, lifting your chest up, drawing your shoulder blades together. So that way you're not rounding in your upper back. You're drawing your shoulder blades towards each other as you lift up and away from the floor to keep your upper back neutral. And then untuck your toes and press down into the tops of your feet and your shins. Good. Just pause here for a moment, and I want you to feel whatever is touching the floor right now. So your hands, feel your hands pressing into the floor. Feel your fingertips pressing into the floor. And then your knees, shins, and the tops of your feet. I want you to feel pressing down into the floor with that part of your leg. Good. And then your next inhale, you're going to start to drop your chest, lengthen your rib cage forward slowly, and then start to look up. And again, try to go slow. See how you can do this while you feel what's happening. And then on your exhale, start to round your spine, slowly rounding your spine. Tailbone starts to tuck under, looking toward your belly button. Inhale, start to lift up again. As you lift, you're lengthening your chest forward and then looking up. The tailbone lengthens back, then points upward. You're going to take your entire exhale to round your spine. Press the floor away with your hands as you start to look toward your belly button. Tailbone lengthens down, then starts to maybe tuck under. One more time. Inhale, lift up, lengthen, look up. Take your entire exhale to round. Perfect. Inhale, come back to a neutral tabletop position. Step your right foot back, so you're in like a half plank. Your right leg is nice and straight, so try not to bend your right knee. Keep that leg straight. Press your thigh up, draw your heel back. Lengthen your tailbone towards your heel. So you don't want your tailbone pointing up, and you don't necessarily want it tucking so far under. You're lengthening it down towards your foot back there. And then step your left foot back, so you're in a plank, and then just drop your knees right where they are. We're not staying in plank. And then lower down onto your belly. So think about drawing your upper arms in as you lower down. Good. Untuck your toes and press the tops of your feet down. Draw your upper arms in. And on your next inhale, lift your chest up to baby cobra. Lengthening your chest forward as you lift it up. Same thing, lengthening your tailbone toward your heels. And then exhale, release, come down. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra again. Press down into all 10 toenails. And exhale, release, come down. Good. Bring your arms out into a T shape. Make some room if you need it. So arms are out in a T shape. I want you to bend your left elbow and place your left hand by your left shoulder. Okay, so it's kind of like you're doing a baby cobra with your left side. Right arm is in a straight line. So get your right arm in a nice straight line. You don't want it, angled up or angled down. It should be straight out. Palm facing down. Okay. On your next inhale, you're going to start to shift the weight to the right side of your body. So you're pressing into your left hand as you shift the weight to the right side of your body. Coming into a shoulder stretch. Left leg can be on top of your right, or you're going to bend your left knee, place it behind you, place your left foot behind you. Hello, Winnie. As like a kickstand for support. And just rest your head on the floor. And your left hand is there as a base, as a protection for you as well. And then inhale, slowly come back to the center, coming onto your belly and switching sides. So coming onto your left side, so straighten your left arm out, palm facing down, bend your right elbow, place your right hand by your right shoulder. And then you're going to start to shift the weight to the left side of your body. Right hand is down, as a base, and then your right leg is on top of your left. Or you can bend your right knee, place your right foot behind you, and then rest your head on the floor. Then inhale, slowly come back to the center, coming onto your bellies, bending both elbows, placing your hands on the floor by your shoulders, and then slowly pressing yourself up to tabletop. Good, and pause in tabletop. And then this time, step your left foot back, so on the ball of your left foot. Again, pressing your left thigh up, making sure your arms are on one line. Spread your fingers. Step your right foot back, so you're in a plank. And then exhale, keep your knees bent as you start to lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling, coming into downward facing dog. So knees are bent, heels are lifted high, pressing down into your hands and lifting the floor away. So you're lifting up and away from the floor with your arms all the way up to your tailbone, thinking about your tailbone lifting high up towards the ceiling. Bend your knees as much as you need to in order to get your tailbone lifted and high up. Good. Inhale, slowly come forward to plank. We're just going to do a little bit of movement here. So you're in plank. Try not to let your hips dip down. Just come forward, and then exhale, come back to downward facing dog. Keeping your knees bent, heels lifted. Inhale, come forward. Use your legs to help you forward. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Knees bent, hips lift up. Inhale, use your legs to come forward to plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale, come forward to plank, using those legs to help you. And exhale, downward facing dog. Go to your next inhale. Try to put more weight into your legs as you walk your hands back to your feet. Hands back to feet. Feel your feet grounding down to the floor as you walk your hands back. Once you get back there, look at your feet. Make them hip bone distance apart. And then inhale, lift up halfway. Place your hands on your shins or your upper thighs, upper arms drawing in. Lengthen your rib cage forward. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen again. Keep a slight bend in your knees. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head, reaching your fingertips up to the ceiling. Nice big stretch. And then exhale, side bend to your right. So right arm comes down, left arm reaches up and then reaches over. Both arms straight. Inhale, come to the center. And exhale, side bend to your left. Left arm comes down, right arm reaches up, then reaches over. Good. Inhale, come back to the center. And exhale, forward fold. Slight bend in your knees. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head again. Reach your fingertips up. Exhale, side bend to your right again. Inhale to the center. Exhale, side bend to your left. Good. Inhale, come to the center and exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Think about your spine lengthening forward, especially your lower back. And then exhale, fold over. Place your hands on the floor. So bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands down and slowly walk your hands out to a plank. So you're walking your hands all the way forward to the front of your mat. Good. Drop your knees down right where they are once you get there. Lower all the way down to your belly. Hands are by your shoulders. Untuck your toes. Press the tops of your feet down. Inhale, lift your chest up, baby cobra. Looking right past the edge of your mat. And then exhale, release, come down. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Drawing your upper arms in towards the middle of your body. And then exhale, release, come down. One more time. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. And exhale, release, come down. Good. Inhale, press yourself up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under and exhale, lift your hips up to downward facing dog. Still keeping that bend in your knees and your heels lifted. Your next inhale, look to your hands and slowly walk your feet up to the top of your mat. Separate your feet so they're hip bone distance apart. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Reach your fingertips up. Garudasana arms or eagle arms. So what you're going to do from here is you're going to do the right side first. So you're going to get your right arm to go underneath your left. And then you're going to twist your arms trying to get your palms to touch. Okay? If that is not a thing, and when you do that, your elbows come down and your upper back rounds, then adjust it a little bit. You can either bring the backs of your hands together instead, or you could just do something like this. If you have any kind of shoulder injury or elbow injury or anything that causes you pain, modify. This is your practice. Modify to what feels good. Wherever you are, just think about lifting your elbows up and then drawing your shoulder blades together. So a lot of people tend to round their upper back and separate their shoulder blades so far apart to get this. So I want you to lift your torso up and draw your shoulder blades towards one another. And just gaze forward. Okay, from here, I want you to press down into your right foot and just lift your right knee or left knee up off the floor. Flex your left foot. Good. Exhale, put that down. And then bring your arms out into a T shape and then reach them up. Okay, and then switching sides. Left arm underneath your right arm. And again, you're twisting your arms trying to get your palms to touch, but that might not be a thing, and that's okay. Again, you can always bring the backs of your hands together or just do something like this with your other arm on top. Again, lifting up from the sides of your waist, lifting your elbows up. Try not to have them all the way down. So you're lifting them up, and then you start to feel that stretch, drawing your shoulder blades towards one another. Okay, and then from here, press down into your left foot, lift your right knee up, flex your foot. And then exhale, put that down. Inhale, reach your arms onto a T shape, reach your arms all the way up, and exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, place your hands down, step your left foot back, so you're in a lunge, like a low lunge, but it's a longer low lunge. Right knee should be in line with your ankle. You can always put your blocks under your hands. Very helpful. Gives you a little bit of a lift, kind of releases if you can't touch the floor very well, okay? Bring your left knee to the floor behind you. It should not be under your hip, and you should not be directly on your kneecap, okay? So nothing like this. That's too much on your knee. You want to lengthen your leg back a little bit. If you still feel stress underneath of your left knee, you can put a towel under there or something to support it. Press down into your right foot and then untuck your back toes. You can keep your toes tucked under if that feels better for you, or untuck them and really press down into the top of your left foot, and you'll feel your left knee lift up a little bit. And that kind of relieves any of that pressure or tension that you're putting into your knee. From here, come up onto your fingertips, whether you're on the floor or on blocks. Lengthen your tailbone towards the floor. So try to get your tailbone, instead of going back, to lengthen down. So your hip bones are kind of scooping up at the same time. And then inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Keep pressing down to the top of your left foot. Press down into your right foot, especially your right heel. Lift up from the sides of your waist. Maybe do a slight back bend here. And then exhale, place your hands down to frame your right foot. Tuck your left toes under, lift your left leg up. Slowly step your left foot to meet your right foot at the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Reach your fingertips up. Exhale, hands down by your sides. Good. Come to just the top of your mat and separate your feet so they're hip bone distance apart. Lift up from the sides of your waist. Just have your arms down by your sides. And then what I want you to do is we're just going to do some circles or like a square with our body, with our feet planted where they are, okay? So you're just going to start to shift your weight forward. So if I'm here, I'm shifting my weight forward, putting my weight into the balls of my feet, and then starting to shift to the right. So it goes to the outer edge of my right foot, the inner edge of my left. Then start to shift your weight back so you feel it in your heels. And then shift to the left. And then just start to do that going forward, to the right, back, to the left. And just kind of do that a few times in one direction. And then we'll switch directions. And you're just feeling what it feels like to go to one extreme side to the other. Feeling all sides of your feet. Good. And then go the other direction. Okay, and then go ahead and pause in the middle and find that middle ground, right? So you don't want too much weight in the front of your foot when you're standing, at least. You don't want all the weight in the back of your foot. You want to find the middle where you're pressing down to your big toe mound, your small toe mound, and the two corners of your heels, right? So find that. And then from here, we're just going to do some balancing. So we're going to come up onto our toes or the balls of our feet as much as you are willing to go or can go. And then we're going to shift the weight back and lift the balls of our feet up so you're on your heels. So on your next inhale, you can place your hands on your hips or down by your sides, whatever is easier to balance. Winnie, I might step on you. What you're going to do is your next inhale, you're going to start to lift your heels up off the floor. And again, try to go slow. Maybe they only come up like an inch. Maybe they come up higher. Maybe you test yourself and see how high you can lift your heels. Keep breathing. If you fall, come back up. Good, and then slowly bring your heels down. And then just lift the ball of your left foot up so you're on your left heel. And then exhale, put that down. And then inhale, lift the ball of your right foot up so you're on your right heel. Good, and then exhale, put that down. Inhale one more time, slowly. See how slow you can go. Start to lift your heels up off the floor, coming up onto the balls of your feet. Okay, so it's like something like this. So maybe you're down here. Maybe you're lifting all the way up. Keep breathing. Adding on, maybe you reach your arms up over your head. And then very slowly, try not to go so fast. Slowly bring your heels down. That's the challenge sometimes, is controlling coming in and out. Good. And then inhale, you can bring your arms down. Lift your right foot up so you're on your heel. So the ball of your foot is lifting up. And then exhale, put that down. Inhale, lift the front of your left foot up so you're on your left heel. And then exhale, put that down. Okay, I did that for a reason, okay? Because we're going to do a balance. And you know, when you balance, you have to think about what your foundation is in that balancing pose. And right now, since we're standing, it's our feet. So our feet are what we're balancing on. So it's important to, you know, get familiar with where the middle is and get familiar with the parts of your body. Okay, here we go. Reach your arms up over your head. And we're coming back into that Garudasana arms or the eagle arms. So your right arm goes underneath your left arm, twisting them around each other, trying to get palm to palm. Again, you do not have to have palm to palm. You can do the backs of your hands. You can do something like this, where you're just kind of like hugging yourself with your arms kind of separated. From here, press down into your right foot. Lift your left knee up off the floor and flex your foot. Option one is to stay here and balance here. If this is already a struggle and this is a little challenging, then I would recommend staying here, okay? Option two, I'm going to turn. Option two, what you're going to do is you're going to start to bend your right knee, and then you're going to bring your left leg over top of your right knee, coming into eagle pose or Garudasana. Keep lifting up from the sides of your waist, tailbone lengthening towards the floor, pressing your legs together into each other. On the count of 3, you're going to unwind and just fold over. 1, 2, 3. Unwind and fold over. Good. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And then exhale, place your hands down, step your right foot back, come into your lunge. Left knee in line with your left ankle. Left toes pointing forward, right heel lifting up off the floor. And then again, you can always put blocks under your hands. That is extremely helpful. Then what you're going to do is kind of draw your right leg back a little bit more and then place your right knee on the ground. What I personally do is I like to pick my leg up, draw it back towards the back of my mat a little bit more, then I untuck my toes. You should not be directly on your kneecap, and your knee should not be directly under your hip. And again, if you need to put something underneath your right knee, you can do that as well. You can also have blocks under your hands, okay? Firm your outer hips in. Press down into your left foot. and press down to the top of your right foot. So really press down into that right foot so that way your knee isn't putting all the weight into the knee. And then come up onto your fingertips, look up. Lengthen your tailbone down. So really start to lengthen your tailbone down as you lift your torso and reach your arms up. Lifting up from the sides of your waist. So you're not lifting up from your arms, you're lifting up from your torso, reaching your fingertips up. Good, lift up a little bit higher, and then maybe lift up and do a slight back bend, very slight. And then exhale, place your hands on the frame of your left foot, tuck your right toes under, lift your right leg up off the floor, slowly step your right foot forward to meet your left foot. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Then exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands down by your sides, Tadasana. Okay, so balancing on the other side, okay? But first, I want to get you in the middle of your foundation, get you comfortable to see where that middle is. So your next inhale, we're going to do that one more time with our feet lifting up or our heels lifting up. So slowly lift your heels up off the floor. Turn the balls of your feet. You can come up as high as you feel comfortable. Maybe reaching your arms up. And slowly bringing your heels back down. Good. Bring your hands down, arms down. And then shift your weight back. This time, maybe you're just lifting one foot, but maybe you're lifting both feet up. It's a little bit more scary. Got it. Okay, and then come back down and find the center. Find the middle between going too far forward and lifting your heels and then pressing into your heels, lifting your feet up. So press down to all four corners of your feet. Good. And now reach your arms up. We're going to switch sides. So left arm underneath your right arm, coming into Garudasana, arms first. Lifting your elbows up, drawing your shoulder blades together. Okay, and then from here, just start to bend your right knee and bring your right knee up and flex your right foot. Keep pressing and drawing your outer hips in. Slight bend in your left knee. Okay, and then option one, stay here. So if you are struggling and you're losing your balance a little bit, it is okay to stay here. Option two is you're going to start to bend your left knee and then bring your right leg over top your left knee, coming into Garudasana. And then think about pressing your right leg into your left and pressing your left leg back into your right. Maybe sit down a little bit more. Maybe you just sit up a little bit higher. It's up to you, but keep lifting up through your torso. Keep breathing. You can also bring your toes down like I just did. Good. On the count of three, this time you're going to stand up and reach your arms up over your head. 1, 2, 3. Unravel. Reach your arms up. Good. And then exhale, fold over, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, step your left foot back, so you're in that lunge. Spin your back heel down to the floor and bring your back toes in slightly. And then you want a longish stance, but you want your right knee over your ankle. Draw and firm your outer right hip under, and then inhale up to warrior two. I'm not going to stay here too long, but just bring your back toes in slightly, sink down into your right knee. Press your inner right thigh to the right, and then inhale, flip your front palm, come to reverse warrior. Try to sink down a little bit more into your right knee, because a lot of times it likes to lift up or cave in. And then exhale up to warrior two. Inhale. And exhale, place your hands down to frame your right foot, step your right foot back. Drop your knees down right where they are. Lower all the way down. Good. Bring your arms down by your sides. Chin to the mat or forehead to the mat. And lengthen your ribcage forward. So, you're not lifting your chest yet, but you're still feeling your chest lengthening forward. Lengthen your tailbone down, press down to the tops of your feet. Inhale, lift your chest up, head up. And then think about drawing your shoulder blades towards each other. And then inhale, lift your arms up a couple inches, palms pointing in towards each other. Keep pressing down to the tops of your feet, all 10 toenails. And then option one, stay here. Option two, lift your feet up just a couple inches and spread your toes. And then exhale, slowly come down. Turn one cheek to one side. Just find some stillness. Good. And then bring your chin back to the mat. Bend your elbows, place your hands by your shoulders. Inhale, press yourself up to tabletop. And then tuck your toes under. Exhale to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, look to your hands. Slowly walk your feet to your hands. And then inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And then exhale, place your hands down. Step your left foot back. Wrong foot. Step your left foot forward. Step your right foot back. And then spin your back heel down to the floor. Okay, so your right foot is in the back. Bring your right toes in slightly. Draw and firm your outer left hip under, left knee in line with your ankle, and then inhale up to warrior two on the other side. Sometimes you forget your sides, and that's okay. Sink down a little bit more. Think about your left thigh being parallel to the floor. Reach your fingertips away from each other. And it doesn't have to be parallel, but just don't let your knee go past your ankle. Relax your shoulders, and then flip your front palm and inhale to reverse warrior. Think about sinking down a little bit more into your left knee. And then exhale up to warrior two. Inhale. Then exhale, place your hands on and frame your left foot. Step your left foot back. Drop your knees down. Come to child's pose. So arms can be out in front of you. If you want a little rest for your shoulders, you can bring your arms down by your sides, knees together, or a little bit further apart to give you a little bit more space. Forehead on the floor or on a block or your blanket. If your arms are out in front of you, just allow your elbows to relax on the floor. Good. And then your next inhale, slowly start to walk your hands back, coming up to sitting. And then kick your feet out in front of you. All right. So we're going to have some props nearby we're going to go down to our backs and do some stuff down there. So have your blocks or the rectangular thing that resembles your blocks. Have your strap or belt or whatever is resembling that. And then have your two rolls nearby. If you need to redo them, you can. And then for Shavasana, the reason why I told you to get a eye pillow or a washcloth is to cover your eyes during Shavasana. So just have that towards the front of or the back of your mat where you're going to be lying down for when we are ready for Shavasana. So come down to your backs. We're just going to do one or two bridge poses first. So what I want you to do is take your blocks. If you have like an empty tissue box or something, it might not be the best idea to put that between your thighs. So you don't have to do that. But if you do have a block or something more sturdy, you can put that between your upper thighs, like so. Okay. And then don't worry about the other block for now. Knees are bent, feet on the floor, arms are down by your sides. And I want you to press your thighs into your block. And if you don't have a block, that's completely fine too. Just imagine pressing your thighs into something that is between your thighs, like a block. And then think about that block rotating towards the floor. So you're pressing your thighs in and rotating your inner thighs down. Press down to all four corners of your feet. Press your arms down, press your shoulders down. And on your next inhale, start to tilt your tailbone up towards the backs of your knees. If you have any kind of back pain or back issues, you can slide the block underneath of your sacrum here and relax. Okay, you don't have to go up any further than that. If you're going up higher, slowly start to lift your hips as you continue to lengthen your tailbone towards the backs of your knees and press your thighs in. Pressing down into your feet, pressing down into your arms, lifting your hips, lifting your chest. Pressing your back ribs into your front ribs. Okay, and then press down into your heels and feel your heels. Think about them sliding back, even though they're not going to move, but you're imagining pressing your heels down and then drawing them back towards your head. And keep breathing. And your next exhale, one vertebrae at a time, starting at your neck and your shoulders. Slowly roll down. Tailbone should be the last thing to touch the floor. Perfect. Go ahead and remove the block if it's there for now. Put that off to the side. Walk your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Bring your knees into touch for constructed rest pose. And just pause here for a few breaths. And then bring your feet back in. I think we have time to do one more of those, and then we'll move on. So again, option to always do supported bridge pose, where you just put the block underneath your sacrum and relax here instead of using your back to lift you up. You can also put that block between your thighs. If you don't want to use the block at all this time, that's fine too. Just imagine that block being there. Arms down by your sides, pressing your hands down, pressing your arms down to the floor, pressing your feet down. You should not really be able to touch your heels, but you just almost barely touch your heels. Your knee should be in line with your ankle. And then your next inhale, start to tilt your tailbone up towards the backs of your knees. So you're lengthening your lower back. Then you're starting to lift your hips and lift your chest. Drawing your chest toward your chin, not the other way around. Pressing your arms down, pressing your feet down, drawing your thighs in. Your knees are going to want to kind of go out a little bit. That's where you want to draw your thighs in towards each other. Maybe start to kind of roll your shoulders under you, just to open your chest up a little bit more, but still keeping your arms pressing into the floor. Press your heels down. And exhale, slowly lower down. And again, one vertebrae at a time. Try to get your tailbone to be the last thing that touch. Okay. Walk your feet to the outer edges of your mat. This time you can have your arms out into a T shape, down by your side, whatever feels good. Slowly, very slowly, on your entire exhale, go ahead and very slowly drop your knees to the right. And then inhale to the center. And slowly exhaling, dropping them off to the left. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to the center. And exhale to the left. Good. Inhale, come to the center, bring your feet in. All right, so we're going to set up for a prop pose. You don't have to do this pose with props, but today we are. So I want you to take your towel rolls and I want you to put them to both sides of your mat where your hips are. Because we're about to, so they're going to like line up with your hips. You can bring them in close or just have them like to the outer edges of your mat. We're going to be going into a leg stretch, this one. So I want your leg to be supported by your roll. So I would actually prefer if you kind of have it closer to your hip, like almost touching, so that when you come down, it's nicely supported. The next thing I want you to do is take your strap or belt or anything that resembles that, and you're going to wrap that around your the ball of your right foot. Just keep your left knee bent with your foot on the floor for now. So you're going to wrap the strap around the ball of your right foot and then slowly start to straighten your right leg. So it's kind of like we did in the beginning of the class where we had our hand behind our thigh. So you want to try to get your leg to be in one line. You're not really drawing it in yet. Arms are straight. So you want your hands as close to your foot as you can with your arms straight without like lifting your chest up. And then just hold on to both sides of your strap. If you don't have one, you can hold on to your big toe. It's just a little bit more challenging that way, but you can just keep your knee bent and hold on to your big toe. Good. Then from here, think about pressing your sacrum down. So your sacrum is by, your tailbone. So you're pressing that down just to create a little bit more space in your lower back and allowing you to have that, your natural curve. And then if you want to, you can extend your left leg down to the floor and flex your left foot. If that feels too stressful or you start to really press down into your lower back, you can keep your knee bent with your foot on the floor. Press your right heel up towards the ceiling and think about pressing your right thigh forward. So you're pressing your front thigh in toward your back thigh. And then if you want to gently start to bring your leg towards you, you can, but that is not required. And again, your leg might not be 100% straight, and that's also okay. All right, and then from here, go ahead and bend your left knee and place your left foot on the floor for a moment. And you're going to take your strap and put both sides of your strap into your right hand. And then your left arm can just go out into a T shape out to the side. If you don't have room, you can do a cactus shape or even just place your left hand on your left hip. That kind of helps remind you to ground your left hip down. So your choice. And then from here, you're going to turn your right leg out from the hip socket first. So your toes start to point out, your leg points out. So you're externally rotating and then slowly start to drop your right leg to the right side. And you should have that support underneath of your hip as you drop your leg off to the right. Keeping your leg straight, pressing your heel forward, so keeping your foot flexed. You want to, for the last few breaths, extend your left leg down, you can. And then inhale, slowly bring your right leg up. Release your strap, bring your right foot to the floor. Bend your left knee and place your left foot on the floor. And we're going to set up on the other side. I'm going to turn around so you can see my other side. All right, so you should have your roll already at your hip. And then you're just going to take your strap and wrap around the ball of your left foot. Keep your right knee bent with your right foot on the floor for now. And then extend your left leg up. Pressing your heel up towards the ceiling, drawing your toes down towards you. And again, your leg might not go straight, and that's fine. You're just pressing your heel up so it's going towards straight, whatever that is for you. Pressing your front thigh into your back thigh, but not, bringing it down. Just trying to keep your leg in a straight line. Holding on to both sides of your strap, making sure that your roll is there. And then only if this feels comfortable and you don't feel stressed out by this, you can straighten your right leg and, flex your right foot, press your right leg down into the floor. Arms are straight. You're holding on to your strap, but you don't have like a death grip on it, right? And then maybe you're just very gently drawing your leg towards you, slightly toward your head. And then from here, take the strap and place it into your left hand. And again, if you don't have a strap, you can always just grab onto your big toe and just keep your knee slightly bent. Rolled up towel is under your left hip. Right arm can go into a T shape, or you can even just place your right hand on your right hip. It's just a reminder to anchor down your right hip so it doesn't start to lift up as you drop your leg off to the left. So from here, just turn your leg out from the hip socket. So your toes go from pointing forward to turning out slightly. Same thing with your knee. Then you're starting to drop your leg to the left. And again, that roll under your hip should be supporting your upper thigh and your hip. If this is too stressful, you can always bend your right knee and place your right foot on the floor if it's not already there. Keep your left foot flexed. And then if you do have your right knee bent, if you would like to, you can start to extend that down to the floor, maybe for the last few breaths. If not, that's fine too. Good. And now slowly bring your left leg back up. Remove the strap, bend your left knee, place your left foot down, bend your right knee, place your right foot down. From here, we're going to go into a supported Baddha Konasana. So I'm going to turn around again so I can face you. So we're going to do this one way, and then if you need to change it by using, say, your blocks or something like that, we can do that. So you have your rolls already to each side of you. So what you're going to do is your knees are going to rest on your rolls. So the problem you might have is maybe these rolls are too small because we're all very different. So if that's the case, I'll let you know what to do. But let's start to get into the pose, and then we'll go from there. So what you're going to do is you're lying down. You're going to start to bring the bottoms of your feet together, and your knees start to come out. And then your rolls are going to support your knees, or you can also bring them in a little bit. So they're at an angle, supporting your ankle and your hip. So if you bring them in a little bit, it allows you to lift your knees up a little bit higher. And it feels really nice when it's nice and supported. You can also use another roll to get a little thicker bolster. You can also bring this out a little bit so your knees come out more and down more. So if you want a little bit more of a stretch, but still be supported, bring them closer to your knees. If that's too stressful, have them at an angle so that when you bring them down, it's being supported at your hips and your ankles. And then just bring your arms down, out in an angle slightly with your palms flipped up. And if this is not working, or you don't even have the towels, but you do have some blocks, you can instead put the blocks underneath your knees at an angle. You just have to be careful because they slide. But they're really nice once you get them to work, like so. So your choice. I'm just going to stay here for a few breaths, so just find whatever works for you in this moment. If you don't have any props at all, and this is really challenging because it can be hard to hold this without any props, then, just extend your legs down and pause there for a few moments. And then from here, take your hands behind your knees. Use your hands to guide your knees up. And then go ahead and just put your props off to the side for now. And we're just going to do one more thing before we go into our final rest pose. We're just going to do one more twist. So I do want you to either take a block or one of your towels and put them between your knees or your upper legs, like I'm doing with my towel, or you could put the block between your knees. Lift your feet up off the floor. Knees are bent. Bring your arms onto a T shape or a cactus shape. You can move your hips a little bit to the right. To the left as you drop your knees to the right. If you feel stress underneath your left shoulder and your left shoulder is not on the ground, you can take your other roll and prop that up next to your right shoulder and your arm. So your arm is supported by something that is kind of elevating it up a little bit. Think about lengthening through your left fingertips, left shoulder coming down. And then inhale to the center. We're just going to switch sides. You can put your feet down for a moment. Move your hips to the right as you drop your left knee or your knees to the left. And then again, you can put a towel underneath your right arm if you're feeling kind of like stressed. Because this isn't about feeling stressed. It's about feeling good. Good. Inhale, slowly come to the center. Place your feet down. Remove what's up between your knees at the moment. And we're going to get ready for Shavasana, but if you would like to finish with another pose like Happy Baby, I personally love finishing with Happy Baby. or thread the needle, where you put one ankle over your knee, draw your knee in. If you like to finish it with any other stretch, now is the time to do that. Or just finding your way into Shavasana. So this is where you can use your props. Again, you can put those rolls under your knees to prop your knees up. You can also put blocks under your knees, which feels good. You can put one of your rolls under your neck, but unroll it a little bit if you do that. So you should only feel supported by the roll. Your neck shouldn't be like extended or anything. And then lastly, because it's kind of light outside, you can take that eye pillow or washcloth, fold it up a little bit and place that over your eyes as you find stillness in your Shavasana. Legs are a little bit wider than hip bone distance apart. Allow your feet to relax and hang open. Palms can be flipped up or turned down. Just finding your breath. Taking the last few moments for yourself. Returning to your breathing. And slowly start to deepen your breathing. And slowly roll over to one side and pause there for a moment. And then using your top hand, slowly press yourself up to sitting. And come to any comfortable seated position at the top of your mat. And once you're there, just bring your hands together to heart center, sit up tall. And we're just going to repeat a mantra just one time. This is a mantra that I've started to really fall in love with, and I usually say at the end of all my practices now. So I'll tell you the meanings of each word before we repeat them. It is loka. Loka stands for location or realm. Samasta means all beings sharing the same location. Sukhino, centered in happiness and joy, free from suffering. And bhavantu, which is may it be so and must it be so. So we're just going to repeat each word, and then I'll end with me saying it out loud. So you can just repeat in your head or out loud, it doesn't matter. Loka, samasta, sukhino, bhavantu. One more time. Loka, samasta, sukhino, bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of our own life contribute in some way to the happiness and to that freedom for all. We bow to complete our practice. Namaste. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning with me and practicing with me as my cat starts to get frisky again. I hope you all enjoy your Saturday morning and Saturday and weekend. They're doing a flyover soon, the Blue Angels, and she's playing with the strings. Let's get her down. They're doing a flyover soon, so make sure you go outside and try to watch it. I'm really super excited about it. Schedule will be out. It's most likely going to be the same days next week, Tuesday and Saturday morning, or Tuesday night, Saturday morning. If you're interested in private yoga, whether it's for you, your kids, if you just want to get a few friends together and do a Zoom yoga, I am also available for that. So feel free to message me if you have questions, if you want to set that up, or if you just have something you want to work on next time I'm doing a live class, I will totally do that for you. Hope you all have a great weekend. I miss you all. Namaste.